Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ZFC, which I guess is my name now. You can still call me Zero, or Z, or Z, or whatever you like. But I guess a lot of things have changed in just a short period of time here. Literally 2 days. Everything has gone topsy-turvy. And, it's just been quite a whirlwind. Sorry, let me turn that volume down there. So, let's get into it, I guess. So Friday, we probably should back up, huh? I think that it probably all started. I mean, of course, I was courting this, maybe, by going off about Grace and Zora. Should we call her Barb? Now we know. In my podcast and on my blog. I probably should have known that they would then try to take a petty route, and instead of actually saying anything back or trying to defend themselves or, saying anything to me directly, they would go after and just try to get me deleted. What made me mad about this first is Tumblr, because they give you there are warnings that tell you, you have to, that you get strikes or whatever. My first strike, I don't even remember, because it was back when the snap was happening, and it was one of those copyright things with Getty photos or someone like that. I got one strike there. And then, of course, I talked about how Hora turned me in for a screenshot of a picture that she then had said she didn't even take. So she lied in order to get me another strike. And then I'm sure she was working with Grace in cahoots to get me a third strike or another strike. They don't know how many I had. I never said so online. And so Grace had to dig, I don't know how fucking deep, in my blog to find a picture of herself. I don't remember posting it. Of course, I post a lot of things, so, but I have and I can't see it, of course, because by the time they show it to you in the email, they've already deleted the blog or deleted the post. So they just show you the URL, but I can't even see what it was. So what pisses me off about Tumblr is they don't even give you the chance to say, hey, this is copyrighted material and you need to take it down. If you don't take it down in a day or 2 days or whatever, then you're going to get a strike. They should at least give you the common courtesy to tell you, because it's the same thing. I've had this blog for 5 years. Somebody who's trying to attack you or get you deleted or anything like that could go back, if they wanted to spend hours and hours and hours or days going through every post you made and then find something that they can turn you in for, then that's going to get your blog deleted 3 or 4 years later. It makes no fair sense to me that Tumblr would have this rule that, that somebody could just say, hey, that's my material. And they'll go, oop, okay, we believe you. Because with the one with Zora, first of all, it came from her Twitter, which isn't even connected to her blog. So how does Tumblr even know that she's remotely telling the truth? Otherwise, they say, and if you do this, you're perjuring yourself or whatever. Like, same thing with Grace. She doesn't even have a Tumblr. And anybody could go on and say, hey, that's me. And that's my picture. And I paid for it. And they could just be like, oh, all right, then we believe you. So it's such horse shit. And it happened, of course, on a Friday afternoon. So anyway, I am going to, I'm going to fight at least the one of Zora's, because they have no idea if that's her or not. And I have now multiple times when she's attacked me or said terrible, mean things, right? And that she's clearly was going after me on purpose to try to get my blog deleted. And that she has no way of proving that is her. And because it's it's a different name, it's a different Twitter account than hers, and it could be anybody that has that Twitter account. And so if she's gonna try to say that that I am posting that without her permission, then there's lots of things that she could get dinged for posting without anyone's permission. Of course, she's now deleted the blog, so we can't even go in and do the same thing to her. But I wasn't going to. I don't have the fucking time, or I don't fucking care. I will send an email to Tumblr with these examples and say that what I have to say, and then if they say tough shit, then I have a new blog, and thankfully I already have 250 of you back, and that happened in 24 hours or so. So she could eat shit, because if she comes back, there's no way, nobody cares about her. Nobody, like one of my anon said, nobody said boo when hers got deleted, whereas I got lots and lots of DMs and messages that everyone freaked out, or that this person freaked out when I was suddenly gone. And so thankfully, when the snap happened in whenever last past summer, I created this ZFC blog, just as a backup in case I needed to quickly restart. So I remembered that I had it, the password somehow, and hurried up and started it up again. So I'm not as heartbroken as I thought I was. Like, when the snap was happening back then, I thought, oh my God, what would I do? It'd be horrible. But I realized, my blog is more of a community area where we can all just chit chat about whatever's going on now. And I mostly reblog stuff. Sometimes I'll post my own things, little Tom, collages or themed posts, but otherwise, those are not pictures that anybody couldn't find anywhere else. And Maeve is still the home of the Berlinale gifts, and I'm sure that post is still hanging around. So there's some posts that I'm like, oh, that's a really good one, that I'm sure other people have reblogged, and we can find them and at least screenshot them if they haven't been deleted. I'm not sure how that happens, if that happens. But they can, they're hanging around. Otherwise, we'll just rebuild, and let everybody know what my new blog name is. I'll put it here on the podcast and on my YouTube channel. And if everybody just passes along, where to go, then we'll just start over. You can keep asking me the same thing, and we'll just keep having the conversation. So I think that's really the best revenge is, what does Beyonce say? The best revenge is your paper. But otherwise, the best revenge is just keep on keeping on. They're not going to keep me down or make me slump away. Like, honestly, I don't care. It's still the community that everyone, is looking for, and the ability to come on here and say what you think, and maybe hear what I have to say back, or argue with people, or, complain about whatever. And this is an open place to do it without judgment. So that's still going to remain the same, no matter how many times you try to get me shut down. But I mean, for sure now, I will, be posting less and reblogging more when it comes to pictures. That seems to be the only way that people get snapped. Really, that's the danger in posting these things. So unless they're pictures I take or I get permission to post, I'm gonna just reblog or link directly to the source, like Twitter or Instagram, and try not to post too many things that are, especially these personal photos. I always thought that it would be a lot harder for someone to prove that it was their personal photo, or they took it, or whoever took it, but apparently it's not. You just literally email Tumblr and say, that's my picture. And they're like, okay, strike. So, I was looking at the email that I got about, as literally she just says, Grace complained that said this post contains a photo of me whose rights belong to me according to Ace Comic Con because I purchased the photo. I requested to be taken down, and it was posted on my private Facebook page. I guess that's kind of if it's posted from Facebook, it's, and if Facebook's private, but I'm sure she posted it on Twitter, but I can't prove it because her Twitter's deleted. And I can't prove it because I can't even see which picture of Grace of the, 50 that she has from every Comic-Con. It is. I don't know which one it is. So there was no complaining about that. So anyway, like I said, I'm just going to send an email. But, Tumblr's fucking assholes. And this whole system they have, that they think is protecting people, is total bullshit. Because like we said, there's still porn. There's still racist, bigot, white supremacists, all those kinds of things, just hanging out, saying whatever they want, and yet they, will believe anybody who goes after another personal blog for any reason. I mean, it's kind of scary for me to even put that out there. I mean, if you want to get anybody shut down, it seems like it would be super easy to do. And so that's just not fair to people who are making content and who are just, on a social media site to have fun. That wasn't, it wasn't like that post was, again, I didn't see it. I'm sure I made fun of her for, or people just wanted to know what she looked like, and so I put up a picture of what she looked like, which, again, she's put out there a million times. If you followed her on Twitter at all or anything like that, she posted every picture that she ever took with Tom. And so I'm sure it was just because the URL is, does Grace post anywhere other than Twitter? That's all I can see. And so I'm sure I was saying, yeah, she's, here's what she's posted, or here's what she looks like. So I just, I just don't think it's fair that Tumblr can just delete you and you have no recourse. I would have gone and deleted it had I even known it was there. So anyway, we have a new blog. It's a new start. I'm not pressed. I'm moving along. So anyway, like I said, I hope you'll pass along my URL to people who are looking, or anybody else who you find is, or you could put that, public service announcement out there that you can follow the ZFC. If you have a mind of your own, these people that are like, if you don't follow them. I even left my followers unlocked this time. I had them locked before, and you know what? What we should not give a fuck about are these people who are like, if you follow her, then I'm going to block you. Because if they say that, then they're a piece of shit anyway. Why can't anybody just follow anybody else? If you and then if you feel harassed, or if I feel like, even Zora followed me for a hot minute before she deleted. I was like, you know what? I'm going to let you. Go ahead. Keep sending me shit. It only makes you look worse. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. And so if somebody says to you that they're blocking you because you follow me, then they're the shithead, not me, not you. You have, this is, of your own free will, you follow anyone you want. I don't, go on to people's personal blogs and send them hate. I say what I say, but I'm not going to go attack somebody on their blog. So if they don't want to read it, then they can block me, but you have every right to read whatever you want. That's all I'm saying about that. So this is going to be too long of a podcast this week, just because I've been busy trying to get this back up and running, and had a busy weekend. So what else is happening? So we have, the culmination of two things at the end of this week, right? We have Endgame, which is very exciting. So Monday is the premiere, Monday night, 7:30 Eastern. We're sure Tom's not going to be there unless he's missing 2 shows. Because he'd have to miss Monday's show. And then he'd have to miss, unless he got enough red eye from LA and came right back to London for Tuesday's show. That would be kind of insane. And Evans didn't even do that. And he was in New York doing a play. He was not at the premiere for Infinity War. So I'm sure Tom's not going to be there. Plus, I think they're just really trying to play that, only these characters are maybe in there. I don't know. I'd be interested to see who shows up anyway. Because as we've seen in the all the promos, all the interviews, things like that, it's only the characters who we know are in the movie. Nobody else has shown up, even though, they'll probably show up at the end when they get redusted or whatever you want to call it. But they're really only playing up the OG Avengers, Ant-Man, War Machine, or Rhodey, and what's her face, Gamora, and the other one, I'm forgetting it. Anyway, you know who I mean. I've seen her in some of the interviews as well, but not. I feel like even over in China and all that kind of stuff, it was the OG Avengers. And hey, look at Chris Hemsworth coming to doing all the things. I wonder if he got told that, do your fucking job, man, and promote this movie, because he didn't promote the last one. And so he looks like he's, I saw him in Australia, I think, or I saw him in China. He was in London. He was on Graham Norton. Of course, they were all in LA on Jimmy Kimmel and all that kind of stuff. So he, he's working it this time. So that's good to see. I still don't see very much Scarlett Johansson. I think somehow she got out of having to do very much of this stuff, because she didn't do any for the last one either. So I think it's funny that people don't really talk about her that much I don't think they do. That's why I'm surprised they're even doing a movie for her, because I just feel like her character is one of the least popular. It's just like when they said that Hawkeye was getting a TV show. Just really afraid that by the time they get to this Loki TV show, people are going to be sick of these TV shows that are about these Marvel characters. And it'll be like, oh, now Loki, great, meh. Especially since it's part of year 2. I posted I think it was on the old blog, a link to Kevin Feige talking about how important the movies will be to these new TV shows. I think he's just trying to say that in relation to how the Netflix TV shows like The Punisher or Jessica Jones or whatever were not in relation to the movies at all, basically. And like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did some connection with the movies, but I felt like the other things felt very separate from what the films were. What had happened in the films or the timelines or that kind of thing. And so it seems like these two up-and-coming ones with Falcon and this Winter Soldier and Bucky and Scarlet Vision, which, if it's like, I feel like that sounds like it's going to be a rom-com where they're like a couple and they do like cute things together as a couple, and I can't with that. Is he going to be purple, or is he going to look like himself, or what is happening there? So anyway, it'll be intriguing to find out. So anyway, very excited for that. And then again, Endgame on Thursday, probably for most people Thursday or Friday. So I went to see Captain Marvel again yesterday. I hadn't really paid attention to the first one, and I'll be honest with you, I watched a bootleg of it. And so it wasn't a very good one, and I didn't really, I thought I need to see this on the big screen, because I feel like, she probably is, I need to know more about this backstory and things like that. and the Tesseract, because then I was super confused about the whole timeline for the Tesseract. But like I got home and I really like thought about it. I also Googled some things, hoping that somebody had figured it out. Of course they had. The fucking Marvel nerds up there had a whole, layout of the timeline of it, because so the first time we see it is a Captain America, the first Avenger. So that's in the 40s, right? The Red Skull's using it. And so then it falls into the ocean, and you see that Tony's dad, Howard Stark, finds it, right? And so then we'll have to presume from there that he has it until he meets, and this is spoilers for Captain Marvel, so if you haven't seen it, then fast forward, I guess. So then he meets, I'm going to just call her Annette Bening, because I can't remember her name right now. No, I can't remember it. So he meets Annette Bening's character, and they were working on this Pegasus, because apparently in Iron Man 2, you can see that there are cases that Tony has in his basement there, his workshop, that say Operation Pegasus on them. So presumably, and he got those from his dad. So Howard Stark, before his death, he died in 91, and it sounded like this Annette Bening's character died in 89, and so previous to their deaths, they were working together on using the Tesseract to come up with whatever that light speed thing they were talking about. But then it's that Tesseract was just hanging out in this like space station, and so then they found it, and then the cat had so then the cat Goose, who's not a cat, is he Flarkin, something that sounds like an IKEA piece of furniture, eats it and has it in his stomach for who knows how long, until he or she, I guess it's he, barfs it up on Nick Fury's desk. But you can't tell. I wanted to pause that so bad. You can't really tell what year that is. Like, you can't tell if it's years later. It didn't look like, it wasn't the high-tech Nick Fury desk of, Captain America, Winter Soldier, where he had lots of tech and everything like that. It looked like it was still the 90s. There was a big old desktop computer on this desk, and it said N Fury. So it looked like it was almost the same desk that he had in this. So I guess it's still the 90s. But then he recruits, like, I feel like the next time we see it, he recruits, he gets it back somehow, because he asks, the doctor from Thor, I'm really bad at names today, I'm just totally losing it, to, take a look at it. And then Loki's there, and he says that's where the look. And so it's, is that how it fell into his hands? And then how did Thanos know that's where it was? They should have left it in the ocean, which is what Captain America said, and is true. None of this would have happened. But anyway, I guess that's neither here nor there. So, and then, of course, Loki steals it, and then they take it back to Asgard at the end of that movie, and then, that we know what happens from there with him handing it over to Thanos for some unknown reason that's out of character for him. So, and now it's an Infinity Stone. But I feel like there's some time there that I'm missing in between. So you guys can tell me, I'm sure, what I'm missing in between when the cat throws it up, presumably in the 90s. Why didn't you do anything with it until, whenever Avengers was happening, which is, I think, 2008 or something, 9, was when the timeline is supposed to be happening there. Anyway, it's a lot to remember, but I feel like that's very important information that is a little confusing to me. But so, anywho, moving on from that, we have, Avengers, and then we have this stupid fucking countdown for the snake and on her dumb Instagram. I bet it's really not going to be. I bet it's just going to be the announcement of an album that comes out 5 months from now or something like that. It's not going to be like, maybe a song. I think she probably wants to try to get like the bop of the summer, you know. I feel like that's probably her goal, and so she's trying to do it now, so that it will, it will be some thing that people listen to all summer, blah, blah, blah. But I think she already lost because I'm obsessed with Lizzo and the Juice song. Now I know that's not a new song, but her album just came out, so I believe on Friday. So that, to me, that makes it a new song, and I love the video that it's full of drag queens. Because I love a drag queen. I love many, many, many drag queens. And so, that got me watching it, of course. I had seen her on Ellen. And, she's just fabulous. She's just like, it's just different. I feel like I like she kind of sings, she kind of raps. She kind of has a different beat to it. Anyway, that song's awesome. And that's what I'm kind of obsessed with this week, is her. That, the whole video. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, you should see it. I also fell down a major Ben Platt black hole the other day. If you don't know him, he was the original star of Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, and he won a Tony. And I only just recently listened to that whole soundtrack as well and got like obsessed with those songs. And so then he also put out a new album that of his own songs, his own writing, and so he made a bunch of videos for those, and so I watched those. I watched the Dear Evan Hansen stuff. I watched some covers that he's done, and I just got totally like, 3 hours went by, and I was like, what happened? So the other thing I'm obsessed with this week is Ben Platt. If you don't know him, then Found and Waving Through a Window and anything from Dear Evan Hansen he sings, and then his new album is really good, and so I highly recommend checking it out. So that's what I'm obsessed with this week, and getting my blog up and running again. It seems like it is, but I'll try to keep up with your ass. So, but just start asking me normal things again. We can be happy that, and I'm that's over. We're moving on. I'll let you know if I hear back from Tumblr about anything that I complain about. But if not, then I guess the old blog is gone for good. And I will try. I've heard a little bit about the Hiddles Conda blog. I'll put that back up too. I'll have to change the name of it a little bit because it was part of my other blog, so they both got snapped. And you're not allowed. You can't start a blog up with the same name again. So, but I do have, like I said, a folder. I have folders and folders and folders of pictures, but I do have folders of those pictures. Again, we'll see what happens with the copyrights and all that kind of stuff. But I know that, that was a really good, enjoyable little blog there that people liked. So we shall see. I will try to start it back up again. But again, thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate that all you guys flock back to me, and that, we're not going to let a couple of haters tear us down, right? It's just the internet. It's just a blog. And, we have the community that we've built, and I'm happy to support, with you being able to come on and say how you feel. And, again, I encourage you to not be on if you're not, be proud of what you say. If you have an opinion, say it, and say it off and on, and you might get other people who agree with you, and then they go follow your blog because they can see who you are. A lot of times, I feel like people say some really important and good things and thoughtful things and things that a lot of people agree with. They get a lot of likes, but I don't know who you are, and nobody else knows who you are. So if you wanted to build your blog, or if you wanted people to follow you, or if you want to chat with people on DM, which is fun, and, have those shared experiences with people, then you got to go off and on, and you just got to say what you really think. And I'm, happy to support that. And so that's my sort of thought at the end of the day here is, you can see that I feel like what they did to me in just trying to turn me in and get me deleted is very cowardly, instead of having a conversation, or trying to say their point of view, that kind of thing. It's just always, it's either anger or hate or nothing, or I'm going to take my ball and leave. So that's why I just feel like, it's more respectable to me to say how you feel, and to be, out about it. And then, if someone has a problem with it, in a respectful way, to let me know. I will say that she did come to me when I put her name up there. She did come to me and said, please take it down, and I did, before she had me snapped. Then I, I got mad and I snapped for a minute, and, which I should have done, or put her name up, or anything. So I took it down the second time. But, I do have more information about, maybe people have sent me things anyway, and I can't confirm or deny where she lives, or all these kind of more secret details about her life, or other things like that. And I haven't put them up there. I've kept that stuff to myself. I have tons of pictures of Grace that I have never put up. I could have done a whole entire post and shown you 15 to 20 pictures she has with him at different events, but I didn't do it. I decided that I'm talking about it, but it was my instinct just to not put that out there. And so the fact that it didn't really matter, that she went and dug one up that I posted who knows how long ago anyway, it's just, there should be no respect for that. And so hopefully, we can have open conversations about things now. And like I said, if you come off and on and say how you feel, and then, see how people react to you, you might be surprised. Okay, well, I hope everybody has a great week, and by next week we will know, what the fate of our Avengers shall be, and I'm sure I'll have a lot to talk about then. But until then, again, have a great week, and thanks again for re-following me, and we'll see you next week. Bye.